I said, my name is Keith Theory. I'm class of 1985, and I am honored to be able to induct these four into our Hall of Fame. 2 years ago, right after our dinner, Mike Orty and I, we got together and started collecting names and trying to figure out who we felt like was deserving of the honor. And these are the ones we came up with. Obviously we had to wait a year to do that, and I hate that, but we're finally getting to do that tonight. So, as always, please, if you have anyone that you feel like we've overlooked or we should consider, give that name to me, a class, graduating class, or you can get it to Mike in Tennessee, either one. And I promise you, we want to honor those that deserve it. This year we have 4 new members. Our first, the bios that Mike has presented to me has their names, and it's really difficult for me to say this. Pete Bush. For me, this is Coach Bush. I feel like he's going to come up and smack me because I called him Pete. Pete Bush may have had a greater contribution to DuPont athletics, especially in the school's final years, than any other individual. He was a talented, hard-nosed end on the DuPont football team from 1957 to 1960, but went on to have an outstanding career at Austin Peay. In 1974, Pete was a coach at Goodlettsville High School, and he was able to come back to DuPont and become a member of Coach Ken Redmond's staff, and he never left. He stayed there through Jerry Broadbent and Charlie Bozeman, and was also our high school head baseball coach during that time. And even after the school closed in 1986, he continued to stay on as DuPont Tyler Middle School transitioned. DuPont's baseball team, while he was there, was one of the consistently among the best in Nashville, and always featured some of the top players, including Jeff Edwards over here, who's a member of our Hall of Fame, class of 81, and Jimmy Wagner is also in our Hall of Fame, class of 85. He couldn't be here tonight, but they all got to play for Coach Bush, as did I. But they were all Major League Draft selections, and I was definitely not. In 1986, Coach Bush became the coach of the DuPont Tyler Middle School football team under very difficult circumstances. A lot of players were bussed in, were not able to attend practices and games regularly, and he kind of became a stabilizing force for the development of that program and where it is today. In 1990, he became part of the rebuilding of the historic Cumberland University football program, which had been dormant for 41 years. Legendary Nashville High School coach Nick Kutras was brought in as Cumberland's coach, and he hired some of the top coaches from the area that he had known through his time, and Coach Bush became the offensive line coach there. Please welcome to the DuPont Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Pete Bush.
Honestly, I don't know what to say to you. They say good things happen more than once. And getting here and then seeing all the guys that were part of me growing up as a football coach and watching them grow up as players and students and becoming the men that they are today is what teaching and coaching is all about. I had much respect for the faculty at DuPont High School when I was there, along with the coaching staff. The faculty at DuPont High School, when I was at Goodlettsville, and I got this phone call from Coach Ken Redmond one night. He said, "Do you want to come to DuPont?" Well, I told him I didn't have any eligibility left. But he wanted me to come to DuPont High School, where I graduated from, and it was a thrill of my lifetime to work with Coach Ken Redmond and the staff at DuPont High School. And it's just an honor for me to be here. And we need DuPont High School.
Yes.
It needs to be DuPont High School,
Yes.
not DuPont Tyler. We need a high
Right.
school. Thank you, I appreciate you.
Our next inductee is Mr. John Flatt. John was one of the DuPont's greatest track and field performers of all time. He was dominant in the teal list of LA in the late 1950s, standing out particularly in the pole vault. In 1957, Flatt set the mid-state record in pole vault with a mark of 11 feet 5.5 inches. But that record did not last long because the following spring, 1958, he broke that with a mark of 12 feet 1. He led DuPont to a third place finish in the 1958 Tito List-LA Middle Region State Track Championship. And that year, after winning the pole vault, finishing third in the high jump. John's athletic prowess was not limited to track and field. At almost 6'4", he was one of the area's top basketball centers. And in 1958, led DuPont to its first National Interscholastic League Championship in 5 years. He averaged 18 points a game as a senior, while also leading the Bulldogs in rebounds. John was also named the Optimist Club Co-Player of the Year along with Ronnie Scher of West High School. You might remember him. Mr. Flatt later started in track and field at Austin P, where he set still another pole vault record in the old Volunteer State Athletic Conference at 12 feet 9. Tonight we are honored with the presence of his widow, Miss Jeanette Ritchie Flatt. I'm going to try not to be emotional because I love the family and all his daughters and son. Tonight we honor Mr. John Flatt.
I'm not a speaker, as my whole family and friends know. I just want to tell you how much that John would have appreciated this honor and the recognition that y'all have given him. And I wish he could have been here to accept it, but I do accept it in his honor and with his whole family. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Up a little bit. Our next inductee is, we'll just stay in the same family, Miss Tracy Flatt Hydell. The daughter, Mr. John Flatt, was a versatile three-sport star for the Bulldogs in the 1980s. She starred in basketball, volleyball, and softball. In volleyball, Tracy was an outside hitter, along with fellow senior Veronica Dodson, the setter, were one of Nashville's best tandems, and they were both named to the first team All-Nashville team. Tracy was also one of the area's top basketball players during junior and senior seasons. She consistently scored in double figures as a senior and often led the Lady Bulldogs in scoring. Tracy was named to the All-District softball team in 1985. One of her most known performances came when she hit 4 home runs in a single game in an 18-6 win over East in District 12 AAA. On January 2nd, 1985, the Tennessee enlisted Tracy as one of the top high school female athletes of the year. She went on to play volleyball at Trevecca Nazarene University, where she met her husband Troy. And it is my honor to welcome my classmate, Tracy Flatt Hydell.
I'm sorry, I definitely am not a speaker, but I'm very, very, very thankful, and I'm very, very blessed to be a part of the high school that I went to, the coaches that I had, the teachers that I had. I had US history. You were hard. Let's just say that. You taught me some stuff I needed to learn, and I appreciate that. Some tough lessons. But I'm so thankful to be a part of this community. I just feel so much love and so much support. I grew up in Lakewood, and both sets of my parents lived in Old Hickory. And so my high school, everything that I did was revolved around Old Hickory and the community. And I went to Tribeca for a little stint, played volleyball for them. And met my husband, who's from Louisiana, and I told him that I hardly ever left Old Hickory before I met him, and that is so true. And now we go everywhere. But I'm just so thankful, and I'm so blessed. I have a great family, very supportive family, as you can see. We have, of course, it's me and my dad. So there's 2 tables, but I wish he was here. He's been gone 24 years. We buried him on my 30th birthday, which, seemed like a bad day, but it was sort of a good day as well, because I know where he's at. I love the Lord. I love that he gave us all that we have. And I just pray that he would continue this, that I look out and I see right now all these people, and to think that we don't have DuPont anymore, and how can we get together? But I'm just so thankful for that. I'm not a speaker, again, and I don't know a lot of records. So listening to you is pretty cool, and I've had to go back and reminisce. I've actually got to visit with some old classmates lately, Kim May, who is in the Hall of Fame, that I so love, and what a fantastic girl and woman, and coach and teacher, and I'm so thankful to have gotten to play with her, and Melissa and Veronica Dotson, and Veronica was one of the reasons that I went to Tribeca, and would love to be in touch with them again. But thank y'all so much, and thank you to my family and for your support. Mom, I love you. You was always there for me. You always overlooked teen moms, but Mom was always there for us when we needed her. She always had the right stuff in her purse. I'm gonna throw that in there. This guy I got to watch play as well, and I'm so thankful to know him. And in the committee, I know it's hard. I know that it's work to put all this together. And please know that you are appreciated, and we thank you.
Pete, I had you for history too, but you don't have to. Our final recipient tonight is Mr. James Ray Pugh. James Ray was an all-state basketball player who led the DuPont boys team to its only state championship in 1953. Pugh teamed with Bobby and Billy Gaines, and Sonny Russ, and Bo Wright, and a host of others. Paced the Bulldogs to a 72-57 win over Memphis Central in the title game. Pugh posted a game-high 23 points, 13 rebounds in the title game, and the Bulldogs set the record for points scored in the final and most points scored in the state tournament up to that point. In 2018, when a committee selected by local high school basketball expert Ronnie Bargatze named the all-time 30 greatest high school basketball players from Nashville and beyond, Pugh was among the top vote getters. After graduating from DuPont, he went on to play at Belmont, where he was named co-most valuable player for his junior season in 1956. He scored 37 points and win over Carson Newman that season, which set the Capital City Invitational record. He went on to teach and coach in metro schools for many years. He was actually my 8th grade math and homeroom teacher at Dawson Junior High. But I am very thrilled and honored to be able to induct tonight James Reeves.
You've already said everything I was going to say, I think. It was 68 years ago. A lot of you weren't even born then. The year was 1953, and I was honored to be a member of the basketball team that won the state championship. On that team was Sonny Russ, he's here. Billy and Bobby Gaines, Mo Wright, me, and a bunch of others, and some of who have left us, including Billy Gaines and Mo Wright, and our coach, Froggy Smith. I appreciate this honor, and I accept it humbly. Thank you.
And you think you've never seen a coach cry. Keith Deering, you're just a big old teddy bear of a guy. That's what you are. I might even share that with some of your students. We're very fortunate tonight to have such a good crowd here tonight and lots of people to have a lot of good conversations tonight. We don't really have anything else on our agenda, so we're going to close the night. I want you to stay as long as you like and chat with each other and see each other. Diane, do we need to take any more pictures up here?
I'd like to get group pictures of the family.
Okay, so Diane, for the Sports Hall of Fame, we'd like to get some group pictures up here, like a table at a time.